All right, my people, this is a Wednesday and we are starting with the homework. I noticed earlier that a lot of students had some issues with number one, so we'll save that for the end. So starting with number two, we are multiplying fractions. And remember, when we multiply fractions, we multiply, simplify. So 5 times 1 is 5, 8 times 2 is 16. When we look at this, this is completely and totally simplified. They're not both even. They're not both multiples of 3. They're not both multiples of 5. So we're done with that. 1 times 4 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. And when we look at this, they are both even, so we will follow that rule. If we don't immediately recognize the connection between the two. And then we look at what we have here, they're both still even. So we will divide them by 2, which will get us 1/5. Number 4 requires us to draw a quadrilateral with only one set of parallel lines and no right angles. So from what we've been studying, we know we are talking about a trapezoid. I'm going to try really hard here. All right, so I've got these two lines that travel completely along these sets of dots, perfectly spaced apart so they would never cross over. And then I was sure to make sure I made these where these angles are not perfect corners. They aren't looking like this, which would signify a right angle. Number 5, we are looking at multiplicative patterns in powers of 10. So we've got 2,670 times 10, which we know from that topic. We would look at this as 2,670 times 1, and we would count the zeros and add the zeros. So that's what we're doing with the rest of this, making sure to include the 0 in this factor and count the zeros to add in the other factor. And then 1, 2, 3. Do we know? Okay. 2, 3. Boom and boom. Okay. Here we are multiplying decimals by this same whole number. So same thought, thinking 2,760 times 1. But here when we multiply decimals, we multiply circle, circle, move it. So we move that one up one space. And then here we would move it up 2 because we got 2 digits. Here we're multiplying this. Oops, messed that up. I did this backwards. Multiplying this by a 1,000th. So we would move that 1, 2, 3, and of course I completely butchered that. So let's start over. And I recognized that I was reversing numbers. Okay, so that's that. Number 1, so we had some confusion with number 1. We have 6 3/10 divided by 3/10. So we're going to do this 2 ways. We'll do this the way we could do it in the standard algorithm. And then we'll flip and do it in the box. So when we divide decimals, we move it. Moved it once here, so then we'll have to move it again, raise it to the roof, and then we start the division process. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Bring this down, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So this would be 21. But now for the other, I'm going to show you guys how we would do this with the box method that some of you guys were using. Divisor being 3 on the outside. Each digit gets its own little rectangle. And we're going to put the decimal here. Now, because we are dividing by a whole number, we don't have to move the decimal to the back. It's already whole. So we'll just raise our decimal to the roof, and then we'll begin to divide. So 2 divided by 3 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2, and then we would slide this over to the front. 20 divided by 3. 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2, and then we would slide our 2 over in front of the 7, and then 27 divided by 3 is 9, because 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 minus 27 is 0. So our answer here would be, I'll write this up here, 69 hundredths. Okay. Number 3, we will be working on next week. So this is a nice little preview for you guys. We are going to be looking at the formula, which is like a recipe for Rice Krispie treats or something like that, to find volume. So as we've been discussing, length can be found here. Width, they're going to give us width on this little side, and they usually write it kind of toward the bottom. And this will become important. And then height, which tells us how far or how high the prism is off the table up into the air. They usually kind of they either put it here. Sometimes they'll also put it here, but it just shows you it's in the air. That would be 3. And then we'll multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. Bring the times 3 down, and then 10 times 3 is 30. And of course, this is 30 feet. And we express volume in cubic units because we multiplied 1, 2, 3 units of feet. So that would be to the 3rd power of cubic units. Homework for tonight is everything but number 3. So everything but number 3 we can complete.